Okay, let me try this again. How's everybody doing? Okay. Can we bring the lights up, please, guys? All right, so we're going to play a game. It's a squad game. Let me turn my mic down just a little bit. Actually, a whole lot. All right, we're going to play a squad game called Crowd Sound. Here's what I need. I need a student per squad who's really good at hearing to come up on this stage. One student per squad, come up on this stage. You've got 10 seconds. All right, Zane's representing the high school. Looks like Jackson's going to represent the middle school guys. All right, come on, girls, let's go. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, very cool. All right, you will see in front of you there is a blindfold down there, so put the blindfold on. You cannot see, so let me explain the rules. Everybody listen. Listen. Let me explain the rules. Here are the rules. Go ahead to the next slide for me, sir. So here are the rules. Each team, each squad is going to have a contestant up front. And what we're going to do is we're going to go down the road. We're going to start with Zane, and we're going to put the sound Zane's squad has to make. You can only make sounds. You can't say words necessarily. Okay? So, and here's the deal. You're only going to have about 10 seconds to guess. So everybody quiet. We're starting with the high school guys. Zane is right here. Quiet. Now listen, you guys in the high school section, y'all got to make the sound where he can hear it. You cannot say words. All you can do is make sounds. So everybody be quiet. All right, play the sound right now. This is the sound you guys need to make. Round 1. All right?
3, 2, 1.
All right, here we go. That, go. What is it? Car, you got it. Bingo, bango, 1 point for the high school guys. Can we get over the high school guys? All right. All right, Row representing the high school gals. Here is your... All right, girls, you ready in the back? Gotta get loud.
3, 2, 1, go.
What is that?
Snake?
Not a snake.
Bird?
Not a bird.
A lion?
You can't talk. Oh, ran out of time. It was a vacuum. All right. Here we go, Jackson. Middle school guys, y'all are all the way in the back, and there's like 5 of you, okay? So y'all got to make some noise, all right? Here we go, Jackson. Keep the blindfold on. Here we go. Round 3. Here we go.
3, 2, 1, go.
A doorbell?
Not a doorbell.
Timer.
Not a timer. Keep guessing.
Alarm clock. A phone? Some calling.
Phone is close. I won't say that much. I'll give you that much.
Oh, nope.
That stop. It's a text message. Text message. All right. Here we go, Lily. Middle school girls, it's your turn. Here we go. Round 4. Who's here? A cat. That was so easy. Wow. So let's recap. We have 1001. Zane, here is your second choice. High school guys, get ready. Let's do it.
Three, 2, 1, go.
Not an explosion. Could be a bomb. Not a cannonball. It could be though. Wait. It's not a lure. It isn't. It was. Hey, raise your mask up and look. That's what it was.
That's not even
I'm not giving you credit for bomb. All right, here we go. Row, high school girls, here we go. Boom, let's do it. bird. It is not a duck.
Geese.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. She said geese, goose. Correct. She gets the point. Very good. All right, Jackson. Let's see what you got, Jackson. Here we go. Can't be worse than toilet, right?
3, 2, 1, go.
Train, he got it. Boom. That was so easy. All right, keep up with your points. Lily. Here we go. Listen, girls.
3, 2, 1, go.
Rain is right. Oh, wow. All right, let's recap. Lily, how many points you got? 2. Jackson. 1. Rose got 1. Zane has got 1. I tell you what. Let me see how we're going to do this. We're going to end up with ties. I'm just going to keep playing. We'll see what happens. All right, Zane. If you don't get this one, you're out. All right? Here it is. Number 9.
3, 2, 1, go.
It's not a gun.
Jackhammer?
It's not a jackhammer. It is not an animal. It is a helicopter. You ran out of time. All right. Zane, have a seat. Thank you for playing. All right, Ro, you have a chance to tie Lily and go to a sudden death. We'll see what happens there. All right, here it is. High school girls.
3, 2, 1, go.
Police car is not correct. It was Chewbacca. Yeah. Have a seat, Ro. Good job, though. Good job, high school ladies. All right. Jackson. This is very, listen. Shh. This is very hard. This is actually the tiebreaker. But since Lily's ahead, this is your chance to tie Lily. If you do, then we're going to see what happens from there. All right, this is very hard. I think this is almost impossible. But we're going to see middle school guys if you guys got it. You guys got it? Remember, do not say words. Only sounds. Here we go.
Three, 2, 1, go.
Doorbell.
Doorbell is not correct. Keep thinking.
Firework.
Not firework. Think about things that make that sound. Not a doorbell. It ran out of time. It was, that's that look. It was elevator. Very hard. The winner, middle school girls. So, man, it's getting close. Is this y'all right here? All right, here we go. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, here you go. Here you go. Where did the other one go? I don't even know. Okay, just go. All right. Hey, middle school girls, one more win and y'all got it. That's awesome. All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for being here tonight. Good night, everybody. Good night. Oh, okay. Oh, we're not. We have some unfinished business. Here's what our unfinished business consists of. Everybody check out the screen. Announcement number 1, we have grad day coming up, not this Sunday, but the next Sunday. And we're going to do something in here before 10:30. At 9:15, we're actually going to meet in here and do something really cool during meet up. We're going to have breakfast about 8:45 that morning. It'll be a lot of fun. So y'all mark your calendars. Plan on being here. It's going to be a great day. I think we have 13 seniors who are going to be recognizing. Can we give a hand to our 13 seniors? All right. Also, coming up, just so you guys know, this Sunday morning, we're in week 2 of a series called Waitlisted. It is about waiting on God. Last week we talked about Abraham and Sarah having to wait on God to fulfill the promise of having a son and being the father of many, many, many people, like the stars in the sky. And they didn't wait. And what happened when they didn't wait? Problems happened. So this week we're looking at another story that involves waiting on God. So I hope you guys will get up, get here, set your alarm, spend the night with somebody, do whatever you can to get here on Sunday morning. It is really, really cool what God is doing on Sunday mornings. Don't miss out. And of course, free breakfast will be yours if you come a little early at 8:45. If you come at 9:15, we're going to be shutting it down. So come a little early. Get up for breakfast, all right? Doesn't cost you anything but getting up, all right? Last announcement, just to remind everybody, very, very important. This Sunday is Mother's Day. I'm telling you this because you do not need to forget this, okay? And also to remind everybody, we do not have any evening services on Mother's Day or Father's Day. So we're not having Ignite this Sunday. We want you to spend time with your family, get some rest, love on your moms, grandmas, significant women in your life, all right? So just remember that, all right? Very, very cool. I think that's about all I've got. Let me see what else I've got. Oh, yeah. All right, so here's what we're going to do right now. We're about to have a time of worship like we do every single week, where we just come before the Lord and we sing, and we just literally, honestly, just get focused on the Lord. So reminder, guys, this is not the time to get up, go to the bathroom, or talk to your neighbor. This is a time to really dial in and listen to the Lord. So I want everybody to stand up. You guys can go ahead and dim the lights for me in the back if y'all don't mind. We're going to play this video. It's about a minute long as the band comes up. Y'all, look, this is straight from Scripture. Read these words. Let these words get in your heart and get you ready to worship the Lord. Let's check it out.
My eyes are open to see, my heart can't help but believe. students. And here's what I want you to do. I do believe that worship is very personal, even though we have joined together as a body of believers, and the Bible instructs us to do that too. But I believe worship is very personal. So here's what I want you to do. I want everybody to bow their heads for just a moment. Many of you just really run all day long just to get here. And, I really want the Spirit to move tonight. So I want you to just spend just a moment. We're not going to spend a lot of time. Just a moment just to breathe deep and just to enjoy being in the presence of God tonight and just to pray to Him. We're going to sing the song Waymaker, and we just want to invite the Lord into this place tonight. So you pray silently just for a moment. Every head is bowed, every eye closed, and you're praying silently to the Lord tonight. Lord God, tonight I ask you in the name of Jesus to hear the prayers of these students and adults in this room, God, as they pour their hearts out to you tonight, God. I pray your Spirit fall in this place, God, as these students just worship you tonight, God.
You tonight, Lord, to ask you to speak to us tonight, Lord. We ask that you can fill us with your word and that you can please use us tonight, Lord. I pray that everything else will go smoothly and that we'll have a great service. Amen.
What is this? Let's get out. Sorry. Professor Copperfield's Miracle Lagoons?
I was in Jamaica, and I got lost. It was getting dark this one night, and out of nowhere, this guy comes with a cart, and he's selling these. Dwight, he told me things about myself, but there's no way he could have known.
That's a common swindler's trick.
Probably. So I buy some. I turn the corner, I feel like an idiot. So I go back to get my money. He was gone.
So you want to sell me magic beads?
Correction, I do not want to sell you Professor Copperfield's Miracle Lagoons.
Nice try. No correction. Terrible try. Things are going very well. I traded a thumbtack for Meredith's junk, for Kelly's crap, for Phyllis's garbage, for Oscar's trash, for Stanley's crap, for Ryan's junk, for Creed's garbage, for a very cute squid that Aaron happened to have. Jim, put those away.
Really sorry. I must put those up.
Just out of curiosity, what were the claims for those beans?
They're lagoons, White. You were still making fun of me, so why would I? You know what? This ends now. Nice. Not bad, right? I can't really tell. Nice.
I know, right? What the?
Oh my god.
That's impossible.
It is, right? I mean, it's impossible.
All right, I'll take them.
They're probably worthless.
Probably.
Leave the telescope.
I started with a thumbtack and traded my way to a telescope. But in a way, the most valuable thing here wasn't the telescope at all. No. It was this packet of beans. So I traded a telescope for it. And I can just go buy another telescope.
Oh my gosh, Dwight. Oh my goodness. Hey guys. So we're in this series called Big Little Lies. We've been looking over the last few weeks about the lies that the devil tells us, the world tells us, and we believe those lies to be true. And only when you see what God says about them do you really get that a lot of what we believe is just not true. And tonight we're talking specifically about seeds tonight. And that's why I wanted to show that video clip because, Jim tricks Dwight into believing those seeds are so incredible that he has to have them. Well, tonight, I'm not trying to trick any of you guys. I'm trying to get you to understand that your choices are seeds. Your decisions right now are seeds that are going to produce something down the road. And you probably not even making the connection yet. And so I hope you guys will listen. I hope you'll take notes. I mean, if you came here tonight and you're not wanting to take notes, I don't know why you're here. I mean, just take notes. Think about this. Write these things down. If you don't need a pen, go grab a pen real quick. Nobody has handouts. Well, let's go home. Well, y'all just listen. I think God's in this. He has to be. It's been a crazy day, y'all. But let's take a look. John 8:32 says, "You'll know the truth, and the truth will set you free." You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. The lies don't set you free. The lies offer freedom, but you're not really free. And Jesus, man, when He says, here's what I got for you, it sets you free. God's truth will set you free. That's what we've been looking at over the last few weeks. If you'll go to the next slide for me, Tucker. Thank you. God's truth will set you free if you will let it, if you will earn it, if you will, dig into it and find it. And so this week we're looking at the law of consequences. So anybody know what consequences is? Anybody ever have to deal with consequences? Even I'm not talking about you got punished. Those are consequences. I'm talking about nobody even knew you did something dumb and you're dealing with consequences. Yeah, I mean, it happens. God's arranged the universe where when you make a decision, sometimes there's very little consequence, but there still is a consequence. Sometimes you make a little decision and you don't think it's a big deal, and it's a huge consequence. I was looking back over one of the playoff games the Saints were in this year. It's the one they lost. And it all turned on one little play that at the time it was bad, but I didn't realize how terrible that play was until now I know the outcome of that game. That one little mistake cost everything. And that's the way it is in life. And I want you guys to get it. So here's what the law of consequences is, all right? Here's the law of consequences, all right? So here it is. Now doesn't affect later. That's the law. You believe that now, what you're doing today, what you're doing as a high schooler, what you're doing as a middle schooler, has zero bearing on your future, or very little bearing. Or you think of it this way, hey, I get that God's probably not too keen on what I'm doing here, but man, it's not hurting anybody. I mean, look, I'm okay. You know, my mom and dad said it, said I wouldn't be, but here I am, I'm okay. It's not hurting anybody. So as long as it's not hurting anybody, I can keep doing it. And y'all, that's a lie. What you do now, what you and I do now, it does affect not only yourself, but other people later. It can have a huge impact on other people later. It's kind of like this commercial. You've probably seen these commercials. Go ahead and play this real fast. This is 30 seconds here.
I'm Sharon, and smoking caused my throat cancer. My life isn't the same after all those surgeries and treatments. But walking every day makes me feel like myself again. Well, almost.
So, you go ahead. So that commercial's point is to get you to understand that what you do now, the habits you have now, they come about later. There's a consequence. They're going to be good consequences. I mean, if you're healthy and you exercise and you're doing good things, there's good consequences. If you're doing not so good things, or things especially that God says you shouldn't be doing or shouldn't be going in that area of your life, go crossing that line, there can be huge consequences. In Galatians 6:7, Paul says, don't be misled. Everybody say it with me. Don't be misled. In other words, don't be tricked. Don't be fooled. Don't believe the lie. He says you cannot mock the justice of God. What does that mean? You can't make light of what God has done in the universe. Like He has created the law of sowing and reaping in the universe. And He says you're always going to harvest what you plant. Your Bible might say you're always going to reap what you sow. It's the same thing. You're going to get what you plant. You're going to get what you put into life. If you continually make bad decisions and unwise choices, there's going to be a payoff, and it will not be good. There's going to be terrible consequences that's going to come around. And so that's the way God has arranged the universe. But here's the thing tonight. I want to show you how you can avoid having regret or fewer regrets. How you can avoid a lot of the bad consequences. And basically it has to do with connecting the dots. The key to avoiding bad consequences is learning to connect the dots. And you're like, what do you mean by connect the dots? When you guys were little, I don't know if this was a thing when you guys were growing up, but I know when I was growing up, my mom would buy me coloring books that it would look like this. It didn't have Pikachu in it, but it had like the number 1 at the top. And you would take your pen or pencil and go 1, 2. And if you followed the order of the numbers and you kept doing it, if all of a sudden you would see a big picture. Even though, you'd be like, why am I going over here? And what is this doing? And I don't know, I don't see it. If you just obeyed the number of the dots, you connected the dots, pretty soon you could see the big picture. You could see what was happening. Well, that's the way life is. Sometimes we're going through life and things happen and we think of them as individual things, but y'all, they're dots. They're individual dots. It might be dot number 4 or dot number 41 or dot number 29, and we're just like, what was that about? I know that wasn't good, or I know that was very good, and we don't always connect the dots that maybe the things we're going through today has to do with the decisions we made the other day or 2 weeks ago or 2 years ago. And as you get older and you become adults, you're going to really see this. more than you're seeing it now. Where, wow, I made decisions or didn't make decisions back there, and I'm paying for it right now, if you connect the dots. And the problem is we don't connect the dots. That's the problem. We don't understand what's going on. And so tonight we're going to look at how to understand what's going on. Now, there's a sign that kind of became a thing on the internet a few years ago, and it's a little blunt, and I hope you don't take this to be coming from me, because I'm not about calling any of you guys stupid. I love you guys. But this sign's pretty blunt and up in your face, and it kind of zings my heart a little bit because I've been dumb and stupid. The sign says everything happens for a reason. Sometimes the reason is you're stupid and you make bad decisions. And we're like, what? Well, I'm not trying to call you guys stupid, but I will tell you this. I think all of us have made bad decisions, have we not? Some of us are in the process of making bad decisions. We're fooling around with the sin. We're doing things that we shouldn't be doing, going places we shouldn't be going, thinking things God is not honoring to the Lord at all, and we think it's not a big deal. Y'all, I'm telling you, it is a big deal. It does add up. It does. And so I was going to say write these down, but I would rather you have them in your heart than on a piece of paper, to be honest with you. And you're going to talk about this in your groups here in a minute. And I apologize about the handouts. That's totally my bad. I forgot to pick them up today. And anyway, we'll see what God's going to do anyway. He doesn't need a handout tonight. So how do I connect the dots? How do we connect the dots? Here's how we connect the dots. The first thing is you make wise decisions. You consistently, number one, make wise decisions. And remember what I said a few minutes ago? Decisions and choices are seeds. Anytime you hear the word seed in the Bible, it's usually a decision. It's usually a choice. It's usually something that you get to do. And here's what you need to understand, okay? You will always harvest the kind of seed you plant. Isn't that rockets? Is that mind-boggling to you? I mean, look at this picture. Look at this picture. I'll explain it this way. All right, middle school girls. If I take these seeds, what am I going to get? Y'all tell me what I'm going to get. If I put them in the ground at the right time of the year with water and the temperature's good, what am I going to get? Y'all say watermelon. I completely disagree. You're going to get corn. You're going to get corn. Yeah. Yeah, because those are watermelon seeds, right? Does that make any sense? It does not make any sense because it's dumb. But y'all listen. I want y'all to listen. You're like, Brandon, what are you talking about? Listen to me. Some of you are making terrible choices and expecting good outcomes. You keep dating the wrong people. You keep going to the wrong websites. You keep putting things into your body you shouldn't be putting in there. And you keep thinking it's going to produce something that it's never going to produce. It's never going to fix. But we keep doing it anyway. Because we believe the lie that watermelon seed will produce something that, I won't produce watermelon, it'll produce corn. It'll be all right. Y'all, watermelon seed, go to the next slide, Tucker, so everybody can be okay, produces watermelons, okay? It's the way God had designed it. So listen, you're going to harvest the type of seed you plant. So you better plant the right seed. You better make good choices, because if you consistently make not so good choices, you're going to have a crop of terrible in your life. And you're most likely not going to connect the dots, and you're going to blame God or blame somebody else. You're going to go around saying, well, they suck, and how come they're doing things good, and how come that, and well, if I was like her, I'd be like this. I see it all the time in adults. Adults on Facebook, they do Facebook vomit every night, 8 p.m. Central. You can probably go on there when we're done and see it. Adults acting like kids. I'm sorry, I'm preaching right now. But guys, the thing is, we make our beds and we lie in it, and we blame God for it. So we better be smart enough to make good choices. And I'm just going to tell you this. Wise choices never feel good. Ever. It doesn't feel good for Brandon not to go to the pizza buffet because he's trying to lose weight. It sucks. But I tell you what else sucks. Having a heart attack. Not being around for my grandkids one day. That sucks even more. You see, wise decisions never feel good, and very few people make them. And so if you are wanting to go with a crowd and feel like you're a part of a group, it doesn't work that way. We keep planting watermelon seed and expecting corn, but we need to remember the kind of seed you plant is the kind of harvest you get. Period. In the story. So make wise decisions. Now listen, that's a negative thing, but it works positively. If you go around loving others, expect to get some love back. God's going to pay you back for that. If you're going around being kind to others, even if people aren't being kind to you, you're planting a seed. Guess what? That's going to come back to you. And you're talking about karma, right? No, I'm not. I'll explain that in a minute. Karma's not in the Bible. Quit saying it if you're a Christian. It's not a Christian concept. This is reaping and sowing. Karma is different. I'll get to it in a minute, next point. But y'all listen, if you go around gossiping about people, don't be surprised if people are gossiping around about you. Why? Because you planted a seed of gossip. You made a decision. But nobody knew but me and my 4 friends, really. Really, do you know how gossip works? It spreads. A little birdie tells a little birdie. Gossip works with people that don't even use the internet. I'm just telling you, they're senior adults that they know stuff that we as a staff don't know, and we wonder, how did that happen? Well, they have telephones that they actually use, all right? They pick it up and they tell each other. Gossip goes around. It spreads around. If you want good, plant seeds of good. If you want terrible, keep doing the things you're doing, and you're going to get back bad. And again, we'll get to the next point. You're going to get more of it. Not just the same kind, but more of it. Look at what Galatians 6 says. We already looked at the first part of this. He says, don't be tricked, don't be fooled, don't believe a lie. You can't mock the justice of God. You're going to always plant, so say it with me, plant what you plant, the kind of seed you plant. You're going to harvest what you plant. And then he elaborates. He says, those who only live to satisfy their sinful nature will harvest a decay and death from that sinful nature. In other words, those who make sinful choices consistently are going to end up reaping a decay and death in their life. It's terrible. And I hate to tell you this, but sometimes you make a choice and you think it doesn't affect anybody, and your bad decision affects somebody else. I'll get to that in a second too. It says, but those who live to please the Spirit, who are making wise choices, who are making godly decisions, who are asking God, what do you want in this situation? God, what's your will here? You're going to harvest everlasting life from the Spirit. Healthy choices equal a good harvest. Sinful choices equal a bad harvest. And every time you make a good decision or a bad decision, you plant a seed. So plant wisely. Choose wisely. I'm going to give you guys a life hack. You know what a life hack is? Like a pro tip. It's like a really, really cool thing. All right? Go to the life hack here. Here it is. This is huge. This is like a game changer for some of you in this room. The company you keep often determines the choices you make. I'm dead serious. The company you keep often shapes the choices you make. You will choose, and that can be positive or negative. Listen, if you want to be a leader, hang out with leaders. If you want to be wise, hang out with wise people. It'll rub off on you. If you want to just do what the crowd, hang out. If you hang out with people that aren't following the Lord and doing things from a human point of view and doing things whatever the flesh says is right and the world says is right, you'll start making those choices too. I see this all the time, and it breaks my heart. I've seen students come through our group and God uses them in mighty ways, and they graduate and they leave their faith behind and they get with the wrong crowd at college or even after college, and they're doing terrible things and posting about it, glorifying it, putting it in my news feed, breaking my freaking heart. The company you keep is everything. You cannot hoot with owls and soar with eagles. You can't. Can't do it. The company you keep matters. Who you date matters, y'all. And some of you are like, but Brandon, didn't Jesus hang out with sinners? But Brandon, what if I'm hanging out with these people to try to win them to Christ? Well, listen, you're not Jesus. Number one, and number two, it's easier to get pulled down than to pull people up. I'm just telling you, you got to be careful. You got to be smart. Wisdom rarely feels good. If you're waiting around on feeling, if you're waiting around for everybody to do it, you're never going to do it. Look at this verse. Proverbs 13:20 says this: walk with the wise and become wise. In other words, you keep company with wise people, you're going to get wise. But associate with fools and you're going to get in trouble. Some Bible verses put it this way: the companion of fools suffers harm. Y'all, I know story after story of students who did everything right but started hanging around the people that weren't, and they were in the wrong place at the wrong time, and their life is forever changed. In some cases, lost. Associate with fools. Fools are not people that are stupid. Fools are people that are making terrible, ungodly decisions consistently and don't care. Don't associate with them. It's one thing to love them and witness for them for Jesus. It's another thing to participate in what they're doing. And by the way, if you're doing what they're doing, if you're smoking what they're smoking, if you're drinking what they're drinking, if you're saying what they're saying, why are they going to change direction and follow your Jesus? Because you're going the same way as them. Think about that. Y'all, write this in your heart, all right? I want to say write it down. You write it down. Wise choices equal better decisions equal fewer regrets. Wise choices make for better decisions, and you will have fewer regrets. I'm telling you guys, you don't believe me, but I'm telling you. Trust me, I love you. I'm saying this because I love you guys. The people in high school that everybody wanted to be like are the ones with the most baggage now, just about. The ones that are battling lung cancer because they smoked, or the ones that did all kinds of terrible things. I'm just telling you, make wise decisions. You will thank the Lord for it later. Do good. Don't feel like you got to do what everybody else is doing. You follow Jesus. All right? Here's the second thing. If you want to connect the dots, make wise decisions. These last two are not as long as the first one. Anticipate the downpour. All right? What do I mean by downpour? You know what a downpour is? When you get a bunch, like the snow we got, back 2 months ago. You remember that? Back when we had a blizzard warning here in Whitehall, which is crazy. We got a downpour. Y'all, this is what I'm talking about. When the seed you get, you not only get the kind of seed you plant, you get more of it. So if you're doing bad decisions, making bad decisions, you not only get bad decisions, you get more from the bad decisions. Does that make sense? You get a crop. You plant one watermelon seed, do you expect one watermelon back? No, you're going to have a plant that you'll have several watermelons back. And that's the difference between reaping and sowing and karma. Karma is another totally different religious thought, not Christian at all. We've adopted it in America. Church people say it all the time. It's not in the Bible. Karma is you put good in the universe, good will come back. You put bad in the universe, bad will come back. God is like, no, that's not how it works. You put bad in the universe, more bad, not just equal bad, more is coming back. Like you're going to get a crop of bad, not just a little bad, you're getting a bunch back. You make good and put that out there, a lot of good's going to come back to you. You're going to reap what you sow. You're going to get more of the same thing that you planted. So let me tell you guys a story. This is crazy. My dad bought Walmart stock back in the 90s, okay, right when it started taking off. And my dad, he saw the price going up every day, and he was like, man, I got to get in on this. And he bought Walmart stock, and for about 10 years, it stalled. It didn't do a whole lot. It was growing and growing and growing and growing, and then it just kind of did this, And so after 10, 12 years, Dad needed the money, and he just said, man, I'm not really growing. Maybe it stalled out. He sold all his stock, or so he thought. He got the money back. Guess what happened when he sold his stock? Started going up. And my dad's watching every day. What did I do? Why didn't I leave it? And he said, I sold all my stock until about 3 years ago when he got a check. Apparently, 62 cents was left back in that account back in the 90s. It's worth over $1,000 now. What if he'd have left that in there? Man, Dad did not make a wise decision. But y'all, what am I talking about? Here's what I'm talking about. You always get back more than you put in. You put in something. The seed seems so small, insignificant. It's like it's not a big thing. It's no big deal that I'm doing this. That's the lie you tell yourself. Man, everybody's doing it, Brandon. It's 2021. And you think this is not a big deal. And you keep planting those seeds. And guess what? More will come back later. And it'll be more. And then you got more to deal with. Look at 2 Corinthians 9:6. A farmer who plants only a few seeds is going to have a small crop. Well, duh. The one who plants a bunch generously is going to have a big crop. Yeah. What does that mean? You get back not just the same, but more of the same. 100-fold. A ton more. A lot more. And that's, again, the difference between reaping and sowing and karma. Luke 6:38 says, give and you will receive. Your gift will return to you in full. You'll get back the original gift, but you're going to have to make room for more because it's going to run over and it's going to be poured into your lap. The context of this, Jesus is talking about giving. You know that every time you give, it's a seed that you're planting. Every single time you give. You give of your time. You know, people don't want to give of their time. I can't serve. I don't have any time. Brandon, I wish I had more time. Well, guess what? If you'll give up some of your time, God will give you more time. That's a seed you're planting. I'm telling you. It's crazy. It's the way the universe works. It's nuts. It doesn't make any sense. But it does when you think about it. To make room for more, it'll be running over, poured in your lap. The amount you give determines the amount you give back. All right? So you always get back more of what you plant in life. So guys, make good decisions, and hopefully you'll get a lot of good back. All right? So that's how you connect the dots. Make wise decisions, expect the harvest, the downpour, the amount, and then here's the biggie. This is why we don't connect the dots. All right? Number 3, if you're writing things down in your heart or on your, scratching it on your hand, I don't know what you're doing. Expect a delay. Expect a delay. What do you mean, Brandon? Here's what I mean. You guys know this. If you went out today and you planted watermelon seed, would you expect watermelons tomorrow? No. You might get them in July, a few months down the road. I know these guys, these farmers like my dad they're planting cotton right now. They don't expect to get the cotton pickers in the field in June. That's going to come in September and October, hopefully October, and that's it. Y'all, this is profound what I'm about to tell you, but when you get what this means for you, it'll be like, wow. You plant in one season and you harvest in another season. In other words, you make decisions here and you forget about them. It's just a little thing, not even thinking about it. And then you're over here in this time of your life, and all of a sudden, this starts not being good. This starts being good. You see this with debt all the time. People buy more than they have. They make decisions, they plant seeds, and they're over here and they wonder why the heck they're broke all the time. And they want to blame God. God, why won't you bless me with a better job that pays more? God, why do they get to go to fun trips? Well, maybe they saved their money. Maybe they invested their money back here. You see, there's always a time gap between when you plant and when you harvest. And when you make a decision, there's always, you're going to get the same thing you plant, you're going to get more of it, and it's going to come down the road. And here's the deal. You guys can't help it. You're not down the road very far yet, but you're going to be, hopefully, I hope so. And you're going to see that some of the decisions you made, you're going to be like, why did I do that? Because you didn't know. But I'm here to tell you, as someone that loves you, your youth pastor, that's not very young anymore, that's further down the road, and I love you enough to tell you this, be careful about the decisions you make today because they're going to come back tomorrow. All right? And it can be good or not good. Look at what Solomon says in Ecclesiastes 3. He says, for everything there is a season, a time for every activity under heaven. He says there's a time to be born and a time to die. And watch this. He says, hey, there's a time, a season to plant, and a time, a season to harvest. That's what he's saying. He's saying you plant in one season, you harvest in another. If you're dieting, if you're trying to lose weight, it's frustrating because you're trying to do things today, make good choices today, healthy choices, and then you hope that tomorrow it's all gone. But it doesn't work that way. Losing weight the right way takes time. You didn't get there overnight, you're not going to get out of there overnight. Getting out of debt takes time. You didn't get there overnight, you're not going to get out of it overnight. But your decisions that you're making now will pay off. God will bless those. Your choices today greatly affect your life tomorrow. You've got to connect the dots. Do you see why it's hard to connect the dots? Because you make the decision. Forget about you've even made it, and all of a sudden you're hearing this stuff, and you don't even know. And here's the crazy thing. I haven't even touched on this. Sometimes you do the right thing, and you're in this season, but some knucklehead over here had made the wrong decision, and his choices now affect your outcome. You see this all the time when, I think about drunk drivers. People that are killed that never drink alcohol, a drop in their life ever, but somebody else made a dumb choice and it affected their life. When you're a parent, sometimes we as parents make dumb choices that affect our kids. We don't get it until it's too late. It happens. Y'all be careful about the choices you make. Make good choices. Those are good seeds. Choose wisdom, even when you don't feel like it. Even when you're like, man, Brandon, nobody's doing this. Well, do you want to be like everybody? Or do you want to be what God wanted you to be? Because I promise you, God doesn't want you to go down a terrible road. He has great plans for you. plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you a future and a hope. Look at this verse. This is the last little bit in that Galatians passage. If you go to the next layer, it is. He says, so let's don't get tired of doing what is good. Don't get tired of planting good seeds. Don't let the devil talk you into believing that this is nothing what you're doing. You know, some of you are doing things for Jesus and you think you don't see it paying off. You keep witnessing to people, praying for people. You keep showing up here on Wednesdays and Sundays and studying God's Word, and you don't see the change and you don't believe anything's happening. Don't believe the lie that what you're doing doesn't matter. It matters a lot. At just the right time. Everybody say harvest time. Come on, say it. Yeah, there's going to be a harvest. You will reap a harvest. And in this case, if you're doing good, of blessing. So don't give up. Don't quit. Don't stop. You're praying for somebody and they seem further from God. Listen. Trust in the Lord. Keep praying. Keep doing everything God's telling you to do. Y'all, your choices today greatly affect your life tomorrow. It is so big that you get this, that you understand. You don't believe the lie of consequences that, oh, what I'm doing now really doesn't affect anybody or you, me. You know, even if it affects me, it's not affecting you. Y'all, it does affect everybody. And it will affect you greatly tomorrow. So be wise about it. I had a friend in high school, very, very good friend of mine. Still we're good friends. We live in different states now. In high school, during his senior year, actually, I'm wrong about that. It was actually out of high school. He went to a different college than me. And we met up, I think, a couple of times, you know, at Christmas and in the summer and just catching up. And I could tell that he decided to go crazy at college. Like, he wasn't really a drinker or a partier, but he loved sleeping around with girls. He did. And he talked about it. He bragged about it. He bragged about how many girls he had slept with in the last year. And I'm just like, you know, you're lying. You got to be lying. And he'd brag about it. And I would just be like, dude, what are you doing, man? You know, like, come on. Let's talk about something else, you know. But that's what he wanted to talk about. Let me tell you about this redheaded girl. Let me tell you about this blonde. Let me tell you about this brunette. Let me tell you about the twins. Let me tell you about these people. I mean, he just was crazy about it. That was back when he was in college. And then God got a hold of him. And he gave his life to Jesus, and he got saved, and God radically changed him. And to this day, he loves the Lord, and he's serving God. I'm going to fast forward about 20 years later. We're having a conversation. I'm at his house with his wife, who is awesome, and he don't deserve her, okay? And he'll admit that. He looked at me, and he said to me, you remember when I used to brag about sleeping around? And I said, yeah, I do. And he said, I was such a fool. He said, do you know how that's affected my marriage? Do you know how it's made it harder for me to get intimate with her? And she did the right thing. She kept herself pure till marriage. I was the knucklehead. And I wish I knew then what I know now. And some of you are writing me off and laughing at me and saying, you know, screw you, Brandon. I'm going to do what I want to do. And that, you know, you can do what you want to do. But know that you're going to reap what you sow. And that goes for me. It's not just you, it's all of us. It's the way God wired the universe. It's not just a boomerang that comes back to you like karma. No, it's not just it's the same thing, but it's more of it. And it's terrible. And y'all, you don't have to go through that. The wise person learns from other people's mistakes. Y'all, you need to save your money. I'm just telling you, you don't need to spend everything you got. Some of you right now, when your parents give you whatever allowance they give you, and some of you are like, man, my parents don't give me nothing, and whatever. But if you ever get money, don't blow it. Save it. You need to start that now. Start tithing now. Start saving now. Start doing good things now, making good decisions with your money. You will regret it later. It's hard to be a witness for Jesus when you're bankrupt. Not saying it's impossible. Be wise with your money. Be wise with your choices. Let me show you guys the last verse of the night. We'll go to group. Proverbs 14 says, there's a way of life that looks harmless, like a little seed. Looks harmless enough. Everybody say this with me. Look again. Say it with me. Don't be fooled. Don't be misled. Remember that other passage in Galatians? Don't be tricked. Proverbs, Solomon's writing, he goes, hey, look again. Take a closer look. Like it looks like everybody's having fun and everything's great and they're posting about it and it's great. Look closer. Look again. Because that life that looks harmless enough, it's leading straight to hell. That road is going somewhere. They're just not to the destination yet. There hasn't been enough time. There's another season coming and it's not good. And it says, sure, those people appear to be having a great time. But all that laughter is going to end in heartbreak. Y'all, don't let your life end in heartbreak. Make good choices. I want everybody to bow your heads for a minute. I don't think we're going to play this song. I just want to be real quiet for a few minutes before we go to group. Just turn the lights off. That's fine. And I just want everybody to bow your heads and your hearts. And I know some of you guys are talking right now. I don't know what you're talking about. If you're confessing sin, talking to your life group leader, do it. But if you're not, please be quiet. I want you to get along with the Lord. And I want you to ask God, what am I messing around with that you don't want me to do anymore? Ask God, Lord, who am I hanging out with? It's causing me to make bad choices. What do I need to do? And you guys need to know that God loves you and He will forgive you. But God's forgiveness doesn't mean no consequences. Jesus had to pay for the sin, and sometimes we have to pay for the crop. God, this has been a really, really crazy day. But I know, Lord, you're in this place and you're speaking. And you're going to keep speaking much longer than this service. I know we didn't take notes tonight, but Lord, I believe that some of this truth from your word got down into the hearts of these students. And Lord, that's a seed too. And I'm praying for that seed to grow, to produce a beautiful harvest. God, I'm thanking you right now in advance for the season that's going to come down the road, and there's going to be good things because of the decisions that these students started making tonight. When they said no to some things that it doesn't feel good, but it's the right thing to do. And they started saying yes to things that matter, that are eternal, that are godly, that are healthy. I just pray, Lord, as we go to group, God, that you would help us not to waste that time being goofy, that we would really, really dive into this and talk about it and unpack it. And I especially want to pray for students who don't know Jesus in this room. I pray that tonight would be the night that they would say yes to Christ, that they would give their life to Jesus, that they, Lord, would make the greatest decision of their life. And I pray it in His name. Amen. Everybody look up here for a minute. Thanks for listening tonight. Again, I am sorry about the handouts. I forgot to pick them up. It's been a crazy day. We'll have them next week for sure. But listen, Sunday morning, y'all get up and get here, all right? Come check out Meetup. I think you will love it. I think it'll be great. Don't worry about the chairs. Y'all head off with your life group leaders to group, all right? Thank you guys for watching at home.
Handouts at the other church. This is Sundays, right?